Hello, everybody. I'm in Jeannie's kitchen, and we're at her studio home. Jeannie, remind me of the name of your business
October
again.
Sun Studio.
October Sun Studio. And we are here doing a cooking class kind of promo. So we will be actually starting our cooking classes starting in March, the week of March 6th. On a Monday at 11:30 to 12:30, and then again on Saturday the 11th. But we're just going to give you a flavor of what you're going to be doing.
A flavor.
I'm Colleen, and my business is Sustainable, and I am a nutritionist who is passionate about helping each and every one of you do some simple cooking, because a lot of us, Jeannie, do you like to cook?
I love to cook.
You love to cook, but I'm sure there's women out there or men out there that are just, it's too much for them, you know,
Right.
We're so busy. So we're going to cook up a little bit of, it's going to be a vegetarian flair, and we are going to be starting with some sweet potatoes that are already cut up. Now you could always peel your own sweet potatoes and dice them, but I like to share quick, easy, and convenience. What we're going to do is we're going to use a little olive oil. You can use avocado oil. You could use grapeseed oil. And we're going to use this nice little soup, this little cup, which is a nice measure of about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to pop that into our fry pan here. So we're kind of get it all around. And then we're going to turn on the stove. I'm going to light it up. Jeannie has a nice gas stove. So this is going to heat up. While that is heating up, I have some lentils that I actually soaked. Package says soak your lentils, good source of protein, and really good legumes are really good that way, and they're really, really simple. So we're gonna rinse these guys off first. They're really quick and easy to actually cook up. So that's what we're gonna do. So these are all rinsing off. So the first thing we're gonna do is get the squash, the sweet potatoes or yams, whatever you want to do. We are going to want to cook those up and get those nice and soft. So we have some spatulas here, and we're just going to let that kind of cook up. Now, you could use any kind of seasoning in here. If you want a spicy or a savory seasoning, you could use, what kind of seasonings do you like, Jeannie?
Well, I like all kinds.
Okay.
But here's our selection right here.
Oh, whoa, Jeannie has a choice selection. So rattle off one that you think we might want. Now we got sweet potato. We're going to mix it with lentils. So should we do something savory?
Well,
Like should we do more of a turmeric, ginger? Because we're going to be putting this on the lentils with some quinoa and some other colorful vegetables today.
well, let's see. I have ginger and dill weed. And turmeric.
Let's try
that.
let's try the ginger.
I know some people are afraid to use turmeric because it sometimes doesn't have a palatable taste. But I bet if you mix it with the ginger,
Yeah.
it probably helps. And how about the dill weed?
And the dill, we'll throw a little dill weed in there too. And ladies, don't be afraid to sample your spices. Many people, when they're looking at a recipe, get really, really nervous about, I don't have turmeric or I don't have coriander. Just put the spices that you have. Don't you think, Jeannie?
Absolutely.
It'll taste good no matter what. It doesn't have to be followed per se. So you just want to, flavor things up and just give it a little spray, a little shake-a, and you just really want to flavor these, and you can hear it sizzling up there. And we know that sweet potatoes are very hearty, so it might take a little bit of time to soften those up. You can use your lid if you want. We're gonna throw a little ginger on here. We can give it a 1, 2, 3. You can use fresh ginger if you want to. That could be done, after, like in your already cooked up tray that
How long
way.
will that take, do you think?
It may take a good, 10 minutes. Do you have a lid? We can lid it up a little bit and soften it up that way. If you
so
you have a lid. I'll throw a little dill weed in there. Oh, here we got a little dill weed. Throw that on there. We'll let this stir up nicely. And don't be afraid either too, because the lentils will take some time too. So we're gonna throw our lentils in the pan as well. So we're gonna pop our lentils in. We have them in our colander. So we're going to throw those babies in. And we're going to cook up the lentils. Ooh, that looks pretty, isn't it? That's what we're going for, Jeannie. We're going for color and flavor. Because, you know, everything we eat should be from the earth, and it should fuel our body, give us the energy that we need. So you want to have a lot of color in your cooking. So that is really, really key to cooking. So I'm going to turn this down, and we're gonna put a lid on it for a few minutes and let that. And what we're going to go over to now is we're going to make a smoothie. Because smoothies are a great way also to get those grab and go nutrients. And a lot of people think that smoothies are healthy. Well, they are, but we have to be really careful on what we're putting in them.
Right.
Because we could be putting in a lot of fruit, which has a lot of sugar. Now, yes, it's natural sugar, but we need to make sure we're keeping our sugar grams below 40 grams per day.
Oh, wow.
In everything that we eat.
So we need to look
So
up
we
which-
need to really be aware of how many grams of sugar is in our granola bars, our cereal, our instant oatmeals, all of those kind of things. And just, ladies, be aware. I'm not saying get rid of it. Know that, oh, when I eat this on my plate, I'm at a 55 or 60. And you might be wondering why you can't lose that midsection, especially if you're premenopausal, menopausal, or postmenopausal, where you might be getting flashes. I always tell, my clients, look at what you're eating and maybe indicate, well, did what I ate cause me to get the hot flash? Or give me the upset stomach, or the angina, or the inflammation. Like, did I eat too much starch and I can't get off the chair? Because it affected my knees because of the inflammation. So we really have to be aware of everything that we put in our body and have that balance. So we want to make sure we have enough protein in our body every single day. Now, I'm not talking like 150 grams or anything like that. 2-3 ounces at each meal or a snack is a nice way. So that'd be like maybe 2 eggs in the morning with some vegetables, and then maybe 2 to 3 ounces of chicken or lentils or quinoa. You can get protein from kale and some other sources, your dark green leafy. So we're going to come on over here, and we're going to make a green smoothie. So I got some kale, and we're going to be using some beets today in our quinoa, sweet potato deal. So you're probably like, well, what do I do with the beet tips? Well, we're going to put them in our smoothie.
Wow.
Because you're going to get a lot of good nutrients from those kind of things. So it's just a leaf, very hardy. So we're going to put these tips in here. And if you have a good Ninja or a Vitamix or something, you're going to definitely be able to have no problem. So we're going to take some of the tips and the leaves, everybody. Pop that in there. And then we're going to take our kale. Now, everybody, I don't know about you guys, but kale is the new nutrient-dense food. We used to put on the salad bar when I used to work in food service.
Really?
To cover the ice.
Oh, yeah, the
remember?
decoration.
It was a decoration because it's very hardy. But you could use this in smoothies. You could use this, saute it with your noodles or your gnocchi. Keep it as your base. You could actually use this with your eggs and stuff like that. Or you can take it, and you only need like one leaf. And you can take apart. See this viney thing? You can take your knife and just cut around this area so you just get the leaf. Because this is maybe bitter for some people. But the more you start eating the kale more frequently, you're less likely to notice the difference. So I'm going to just kind of go down this vine and kind of cut that off. So it's not as, so I just got the bunch. Great in, vitamin C and K. And we are going to use a little almond breeze. You could use oat milk, which is popular. You could use soy-based milk, whatever you think, that way. So we're going to put a little bit of that in there. And what I like to use is some sort of protein source. And what I like is Vanilla Juice Plus Complete, because it's full of a lot of vitamins and nutrients. It's a better tasting one that I know of, and this is something that you can actually get from a whole food distributor, someone that like myself and Jeannie here that actually share the information, because we found it to be very helpful to get all our core nutrients that way. So contact us, we can send you a sample.
I just started that, and boy, is it yummy.
It's probably one of the better tasting protein powders around. I've tried a lot of them. Mm-hmm. I've tried Arbonne's products. I've tried just some right over the counter ones. I've gone to GNC. I've gone to different places. Hey, Jeannie, why don't you spin my my sweet potato? Maybe turn it down a little bit and see where we're at there. We might need to add a little bit of water. Okay. To that, like a half a cup just to continue, because we don't want to add more oil to it because we got that, but we can turn the flame down and add a little bit of liquid water or broth or whatever we got that way.
Do you want broth?
If you have some, that'd be great. I also, for many of you that use a whole food supplement, I do the Juice Plus Orchard Garden and Vineyard blend and the omegas. I just throw my capsules right into my smoothie.
With the plastic?
Yep. Wow. With the plastic, because we got a high frequency ninja here. That'll yes, the collagen broth is great. So we're just gonna throw all of the blends in. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, it's sizzling over there. So we're good. And the Omega blend is a great source of omega 3, 5, 7, and 9. It's a plant-based nutrient, really helps the joints. It has 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. I'm sorry. And it's full of pomegranate seed, buckhorn berries, safflower seed, and tomato seed. All good nutrients. And the thing that I like is it's researched, where a lot of products out there might be coming from countries that we're not aware of. So we got to be aware of where are our sources coming from as far as supplementation, food in general. And sometimes, ladies, you also have to look at why are we gaining weight. Years ago, and Jeannie reminded me of this, is that we used to eat seasonally. And now we're adding the berries at this time of year when we really shouldn't be. And we're adding, more sugar than our body actually needs. And we should be doing more citruses and things like that. But because of our ability to get things transported from foreign countries, we're like, oh, I love strawberries. I'll have some strawberries all year long, and really are the best. I don't know about you guys, but if you remember, summertime is berry season. If you really go to the farmers markets, they're bright red and they're very, very tasty. Mm-hmm. And you realize like, wow, that's a strawberry. Yeah, when you have a strawberry this time of year, it's a strawberry, but it doesn't taste the same.
And when you're away from it for a while, it helps.
Right.
It's like, oh, now I get to have it. It's a treat.
Yeah.
If it's all the time, it's just another strawberry.
Yeah. And that's true. We have to remember there's treats versus all the time. So maybe, ladies, we need to look at our desires. What is our heart desiring when we cook? Mm-hmm. And it's really important to make sure that we're not cooking on an empty stomach, that we kind of do a little pre-planning and figure out what is it that I actually want. Or the quinoa that I made, which is right here, I made this a couple of days ago so that I can use that for a base for many different dishes. So I could use it in my breakfast, and it can be my base for 2 fried eggs in the morning with my kale. And then I have the quinoa to stretch. And quinoa takes on the flavor that you put in it. So if you just put
Yeah.
water in it, it's not very tasty, ladies. So use a broth, whether it's veggie, chicken, or beef broth, depending on how savory you want it. If you want it a little more like a breakfasty cereal type of thing, use your juices. Cranberry juice, orange juice, pomegranate juice, and it'll be a little sweeter. And then you can add more of those other flavors. Just a tip for you guys. All right, I'm going to give this a little pulse. Of course, my kale didn't smash up all the way, so I got to stick a little spatula or a spoon or something. Jeannie's gonna help me out with that. We're gonna get a little something, and then we're just gonna push it down so we have enough. Could always throw a banana in here if we wanted to, but we're keeping it green, so there's really not as many calories to this one. It's all of your nutrients that you have from those kind of things. So it's very easy. I always have to remember where my arrows are on these
Oh yeah, I
on
had
these
trouble.
things. You got to remember. So we're gonna give it a right, that's done. We're gonna come back over here and check out our lentil dish. Come back over here and check out our lentils. Let's see how good it's doing so far. All right, we're back over here. We're checking out our lentils. Probably gonna put a little ice in our smoothie too, just so it's a little. All right, it's almost done. I'm gonna kind of come over here, everybody, and we are going to get a fork. Find Jeannie's forks over here. I'm gonna grab a fork so I can test the, is it in this one? Yeah. So we can test the sweet potatoes. We don't want them too firm where they're gonna break our teeth. We want them soft. So we're just gonna take a little, see the softness of our sweet potato. Just needs a little bit longer. Add a little bit more broth to this.
Okay.
Because, that's going to render down.
Even with the lid on?
Even
Oh,
with the
because
lid on.
the lentils will soak
The
it up.
lentils is going to soak up this lovely broth. We'll stir it around a little bit. Let that cook up a little bit longer. Right. Good. All right, everybody, I'm going to come on back over here, and I cooked up some beets earlier today. So I'm going to grab my little fork again here. This will be good to get my beets out while that's cooking up. Beets are a great source of color and fiber, and we're going to just, actually with the beets, see this little, you got the little skin on, we can peel that back a little bit. As you can see, it just kind of peels right off. And it comes right off this way. You can also take, and I just roasted these in the oven with parchment paper for about an hour on 370, because, they take a little bit of time. But my girlfriend used to put them in foil, and then as you pull the foil out, the skin comes off. So, but you can, there's no reason why you can't eat the skin. It has some good nutrients that way too. And your leftover cold beets, you could also use in your smoothie, everybody. So we are going to just sort of dice up our beets, and we're going to use these in part of our dish with our lentils. It's going to be lentils, quinoa, beets, sweet potatoes, and we're going to cut up some of our cabbage as well. So it's going to be very, very tasty. And you know, everybody, there is no quick and simple, easy way to cook these days. It does take a little bit of time and a little bit of thought of what you want to eat. But once you know what you want, doing a little pre-planning, whether you make up your rice or your noodles a day ahead of time, whether you cook your meat a day ahead of time, it'll be easy for you to assemble and, you know, pre-plan. And if that's something that you're interested in, that's why we're doing the cooking classes in March and April. We're going to be doing planning for Easter. So all of that will be on flyer and registration. The cost will be $20. This is our low budget rate, and then we will be increasing it as we get more and more people coming. So you can also see I have a little purple cabbage for color. We are going to cut this in half. And we are just gonna, we could use the Cuisinart if we want to, but I'm just going to cut this up nice and easy, just sort of dice it up, but I could use the Cuisinart or processor and just sort of cut this up finely, as finely as I can with my knife. Chop it, and then we got this. This is going to be put on our platter. So we're going to get that going on pretty soon as well. So we are going to check on our lentil dish. Here, let's check this out. See how we're coming along here. Oh, it's coming along, Jeannie. I know. We have a hungry critter with us today, joining us in our kitchen.
He's our
But
mascot.
you know, but what's really one of the reasons why Jeannie and I wanted to give cooking classes is I think we've lost the art.
Yeah.
Jeannie, what do you think? The art of a couple of things: community. As women, many of us used to stay at home. And you would get together and we'd either snap beans or you'd go cook and I would watch the kids and then we'd all gather and eat.
Right.
And have a conversation. And we were like each other's therapist, right? And it's really inexpensive. So our cooking class is really cheap because you're going to have conversation that you never heard about because, you know, food is love.
You know, I think we've lost that touch with that because if you think about it, I don't know how many at home do this. They have to tell everybody to put their cell phones away.
Right.
You know, so food is not love. Food is a time to sit with the family, but talk to somebody else.
Well, and so many people are eating in their car.
Right.
Eating in front of the TV,
Grab
you
and
know, and I always tell my clients, you know, if you're going to eat in front of Jeopardy, or Wheel of Fortune, because a lot of my clients were live alone and they used to eat. I was like, at least make your meal last that 30 minutes. You know, chew it, put your fork down, actually ingest it, because your body really wants to understand where the food is going.
Right.
If you chew it so quickly, it ends up being in your small and lower intestines where it's not supposed to be digested. And then it's being pushed back into your stomach, and that's where we're getting a lot of reflux problems.
Oh, that's me.
So we really need to just sit down.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, and Jeannie would agree, sit down, be mindful, put it in a placemat, and say a prayer. You know, Heavenly Father, bless this food, bless the hands that made it, bless the merchant that sold it to me, and go even deeper, bless the farmer and the migrant workers that actually worked in the field because they're getting a paycheck for their family. So when you look at the whole food chain, we're blessing everybody and it slows ourselves down a little bit. And a little bit of gratitude goes a long way and it really helps us think and slow down. And then it gives us time for our mind smell, tongue, stomach to really get excited for the food instead of I'm starving, I'm excited, and you swallow.
Yeah.
So
and you
these
don't
are,
even enjoy it.
No, you don't enjoy it. You run out.
And usually when it's a fast food like that, they're the wrong choices.
Right, and when it's fast, sometimes you don't even know what you ate, and you think you're still hungry, and then you'll go for that quick fix chocolate.
Well, and that's your body telling you that it's still hungry. It's still waiting for the nutrients.
Right.
You filled it with something, but not nutrients.
Right. And that's what our classes are going to teach you. We're not fine as ladies. We need community, and we need help and support. And these classes are going to give you education, give you some recipes, give you some ideas, and then we're going to be able to sit down, eat a meal, and have a conversation and open up the well of what's really going on in each one of our lives. And I think that's what's a lot that's missing. And you probably see that when you have your art classes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they have a canvas, they don't know what they want to draw, and then all of a sudden by the end, the Holy Spirit comes upon them, and they're doing all sorts of things.
I love it.
It's the same thing in the kitchen. It's art, and I think what people think of is, I'm not good, or maybe someone told you, you can't cook. I mean,
right.
Really, I want y'all to think about when was the first time you were in a kitchen, and what was told to you.
Mm-mm.
Because maybe, it was the aunt that was very OCD. I'm sorry, not ACDC, but OCD that wanted everything perfect. And you had to have the pans lined. And you were told, oh, don't touch that fork. Oh. Or don't burn that. That's not the way you do it. That's not the way you cut the tomatoes. Right. And you threw your hands up like, I'm not getting in a kitchen ever again. And that memory is embedded in your head. And you don't realize it, and now that's why you don't cook.
Wow. There are a lot of things, a lot of reasons, but that could be definitely.
I mean, it could be. It's just, I'm asking the audience and anyone who's watching this to really ask themselves that.
Maybe they could comment.
Yeah, comment if that's you. And, we're all about really education, helping women get to the true root of issues of obesity, disease, fearfulness of the kitchen.
We were talking earlier about how we self-soothe with food, and that's actually hiding ourselves.
Actually, when we're upset, it's again, there's a deeper wound that's going on when we say, I need to lose weight or I need to get healthier. Mm-hmm. And some of those wounds might be that hidden, I don't want to deal with it. I want to hide under a bushel basket. And then all of a sudden you realize you're going to a food. Maybe you're going to the chocolate cake, or maybe you're going to a donut, or maybe you're overeating on as simple as gnocchis. You could be overeating on good food. Mm-hmm. And saying, but I'm eating healthy, but it's gluttonous. Mm-hmm. So we really need to look at the root cause and to accept that I'm not bad, but I want to be healed from that wound of whatever it is.
And there's another way to do it.
There's other ways to do it. And really, once you fuel your body with foods like kale and beets and raw broccoli and turmeric and fresh ginger and citrus foods like oranges and those kind of things, you'd be amazed at your body's nourishment, and it'll tell you that you're really not hungry for the chocolate. It's another desire.
Right.
So those are some of the things that you'll learn too, and really talking about those kind of things. So those are all important things that we're going to be diving into.
Now there are some good hungers, like maybe an empty stomach could be a hunger.
Oh yeah.
Or,
for sure.
Or truly, hungry for something nutritious is
right.
good hunger.
Right.
But when you're hungry for just sugar, or, unless you're, what about a diabetic who is craving something like sweets?
I mean, their, pancreas isn't being fueled with the right things. Okay. So they're craving something, but it might be a different nutrient. It might be a kale, or it might be like this smoothie with a little bit of that protein sweet combination, which is giving the body what it needs at a slow version.
I see.
You know, so it's a really food and nutrition and disease and diet is a very complex thing, and we push it to the side. It's the last thing we think about.
And it should be up front.
It should be, because that's, you know, that's how you can really heal yourself, is through food and conversation, and you can really manage your stress from just understanding what it is that we're doing.
And I love the prayer that you said earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a very complex prayer, you know, but we really need to, slowing down that process.
But it seems like, you know, being grateful for the food that we do receive, rather than just shoving a candy bar in our mouth to,
Right.
you know, hurry up and go
Well,
somewhere.
and I think even if you say, I'm grateful for this candy bar,
Sure.
the moment, it might slow it down and actually
Yeah.
might help you when you realize, you know what, I don't really want this. After you took the time, I'm grateful, and you're unwrapping it, then you're thinking about it. I'm grateful for it, but I don't really need it, maybe.
Wow, causes you to think.
Maybe, that 1 or 2 seconds, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't really want it. A lot of times that's what I'll tell people, is like, wait a few minutes. Like when you're, for instance, you're going to church and there's Donut Sunday. And you're like, I'm going to go in, I'm going to allow myself to have the donut, but I'm going to wait. I'm going to talk to Jeannie, a couple of people, with my coffee. And then if that one donut, that powdered sugar donut, is still there, I'm going to allow myself, without guilt, shame, and overabundance, I'm going to have that donut and sit and enjoy it and actually chew it and taste it. Because, you know, instead of going over there and like, oh, I'm starving, I'm going to go have the donut, you're not really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then what is the second part of that donut response? Like, if I go have the donut or the cookie, what will my day turn into? Will it turn into McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, all sorts of forbidden foods? For why?
Yeah. I mean, that little bit of sugar is like cocaine. It, you know, sets the tone for the day.
And it's like, it's not that we are saying not have it, but balance that sugar maybe with that yogurt.
There you go.
You know, and have a smaller piece instead of the full Hershey bar. Have just a kiss. You know, and I always tell people, don't start your day with the sugar. Have something else with it. Have the smoothie, and then go and have a donut or a cookie or something like that. So it's just to the one. And then learn to bite and taste. And if it's not tasty, don't eat it. Why eat it?
Yeah. Food
You know,
should be enjoyable.
It should be enjoyable. And sometimes, you know, those pretty pastries look really good, but they don't taste that great.
Yeah, they're too sweet. Or
They're too sweet, or they're bitter,
or dry.
yeah, there's
kinds
so many things. So just taste it, savor it, and say, do I want to take the next bite? Just a few tips, ladies. Well, I think our lentils, all the water is submerging out. I think we got a nice dish here going. So we're going to turn this off. And we are going to get our platter, ladies. Take our platter. And we are going to place our platter here. Now, girls, this is a lot of lentils, so we're just going to do a nice little plate presentation. We're just going to put a loops as I throw it on the floor. I'll sweep it Jeannie's place here.
Cleans up nicely.
It's okay not to have everything apropos, so we're just going to plate it up. I'm going to put a little bit more of the sweet potatoes on. Now, we're going to come over to our cabbage station. We're going to put our cabbage here in the middle. Good thing we have this little hole here. And then we're going to put our beets on there too. Alright, so we got a nice, look at the colors here on this plate. And then we're going to take a half a cup. Actually, it'll be a full cup, and we're going to place our quinoa nicely on this plate. Just throw that over there. Take some shredded carrots for a little color. Throw that on there.
Wow.
And voila, if you wanted to throw a little asparagus on there or peppers, you can do that. But it's all about color and flavor. And hope you'll join us for our class to learn all sorts of new and interesting vegan, vegetarian dishes, all sorts of dishes coming to you at Jeannie's place in March.
Yes.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
So what I thought we could do